Standard 5 is about solving an equation for a variable. Many problems in math and science can be solved using formulas. For instance, a common formula is the relationship between distance, rate, and time. It's written here, d for distance equals r for rate times t for time. So if someone told you a car was moving at a rate of 40 miles an hour, and it went for a time of 2 hours, then the distance it traveled would be 40 miles per hour times 2 hours, or 80 miles. Sometimes, though, you know the distance the car traveled and the rate it was going, and you want to know the time. You can rearrange this equation to solve for any variable that you want. So we'll start by writing the equation again. Now, if time is what I want to have by itself, I see time is multiplied by rate. And just like we did in the other equations that had numbers in it, since time is multiplied by rate, I can divide each side by rate, and then I'll end up with time by itself. So the rate cancels out, the same as the numbers used to, and the distance divided by rate stays there. So that means distance divided by rate is the same as time. Now, if someone gave you the distance the car traveled and the rate it was going, you could figure out the time. Here's another formula. This formula is the volume of a cylinder, which is equal to pi, which is a number, it's about 3.14, times the radius of the cylinder squared times the height of the cylinder. So what if I wanted to solve this formula for h? So h is multiplied by pi times r squared. So what I'm going to do is just divide each side by pi times r squared. Same over here. And these all cancel out, so I get the h on one side by itself, which is what I want. And that equals the volume divided by pi r squared. That's all there is to it. So you do the same things as you do with the algebra you've done previously that had numbers in it, except you're going to be dividing by letters instead of numbers. Here's another formula that has both x's and y's in it. You'll see formulas like this come up a lot in future sections. So what I'm going to do with this formula is solve for y. And you might remember from previous sections that when we're solving an algebra equation, we undo with adding or subtracting, and then the very last step we do is undoing by multiplying or dividing. So first I'm going to undo this 6x that's added by subtracting 6x from each side. So that's going to leave me with 2y on the left. You can't subtract 6x from 12 because 12 doesn't have an x attached to it. So I'm just going to leave that as 12 minus 6x. So y is multiplied by 2. To undo that, I'm going to divide each side by 2. And I get y equals 12 minus 6x, all divided by 2. This answer could be simplified a little bit further because 12 and 6 can both be divided by 2. So I can just go ahead and do 12 divided by 2, which is 6, and 6 divided by 2, which is 3. So when I solve for y, I get y equals 6 minus 3x.